than the other attacks that we've seen. Now, there still has not been a scrub of his electronic devices, his phone. You know, that's going to happen, and hopefully that has some information.
Fruit Loops are so deliciously fruity, your colorful side will come alive.
Hey, Toucan, give it a spin.
Bring it. Whoa, just winging it here. Do whatever makes you happy. Whatever fruits your loops out of this complete breakfast.
This guy over the past 6 months, and I think we just got to find out what that was. I mean, as you mentioned in a previous segment, you know, the Islamic State claimed credit for this immediately after it happened. Now, they're obviously on the ropes. You can't trust everything they say. But I can tell you on our committee, when we look at these attacks, when they do claim it, it tends to be the case. Now, there have been one or two where that wasn't the case. His brother hadn't talked to him in 6 months. So what happened over the last 6 months? I think that's the question that they're trying to answer, that they haven't answered it yet.
Right. So, by the way, the theory with the Islamic State is they got to him within the last 6 months. That's part of what they said, but we have not seen any evidence of that. And we rule something out where logic, as people on the outside would say, how could you rule that out so quick when there's still so many questions to answer? But, you know,
I'll tell you, Brian, though, what they said, though, is they said, you know, we don't have evidence to substantiate what the Islamic State said. I think that's true. I've not seen that. But I don't think they have evidence to disprove it yet. I think that there's still a search to try to figure out what happened to this guy to motivate him to do this, and not just to commit a horrible act of violence. Obviously, he did that, but with such premeditation and planning, you don't just do that willy-nilly.
So we see the situation with Adam Lanza and the horror in Newtown, and we talk about autism and around guns and the responsibility of gun owners. We remember in Orlando, Allah Akbar, he did this for Allah, and he did this, destroyed the lives of so many there. In San Bernardino at the Christmas party, these were Islamic extremists. We find that out. The whole controversy with the iPhone. And Bin Laden, of course, we knew who to resent. We knew who to focus our anger on. We don't know where to focus our anger on yet. So we've been focusing on guns. Is that the wrong thing to do, or is this the perfect time, Congressman?
Well, I think it's premature to get into the legislative debates of it because we still don't really know. ATF is looking at all those firearms. We don't know whether he manipulated any of the firearms. And so that's all going to still be done. Obviously, people have seen some of the photos, and they have different judgments that they can make about that. And so let's get the facts, and you can deal with that in due time. But I think, what people are really focusing on, the people that I talked to here, a lot of people just have the question, okay, why did he do this, and what could we have done? Could there have been anything that could have been done to prevent something like this? And some of those other cases, we knew Tasneem Malik was radical, and we looked at her social media before she came in on the fiancé visa. There were signs with Omlet. In this case, we've yet to see those signs. Maybe they were there, but we got to find that out.
All right, and this whole bump stock thing, this device that allows the semi-automatic to become an automatic, there's support to get rid of it, make it illegal. Does Ron DeSantis subscribe to that?
Well, I haven't come out and the NRA put out a statement saying convert something to an automatic, and there's pretty clear statutes on how an automatic weapon is treated under our law. But I can tell you, it's not anything I ever did, like when I was in the military, to bump fire stuff. But there are a whole bunch of ways you can do that apart from just getting that plastic accoutrement. So I think we need to get the facts, and then let's see. I mean, a lot of the Democrats who are coming out don't know anything about firearms and had never even heard of this before this week, and now they want to do it. I think Nancy Pelosi tipped the hand. She said, look, we want to do way more than this. And so I think on their side of the aisle, a guy like me who defends the Second Amendment, I'm skeptical of their motive.
Yeah, they said, is it a slippery slope? That's what Republicans fear. And she's like, yeah, I hope so. Good. And she's not even playing a good coy game. Congressman Ron DeSantis, thanks so much. Instead of sitting reports, he's seeing it firsthand. Thanks so much, Congressman.
Thank you.
All right, coming up straight ahead, President Trump is being praised for his... Guess will inside the White House. Who knows? He's been there. office receiving bipartisan praise for his handling of multiple hurricanes and catastrophes and the Las Vegas massacre. Yet, we're still seeing garbage like this on the streets. Listen.
Is there any regret that you got into a name-calling situation with the president?
No. A name calling. What I said? Let me hear you say it.
Call him a bum.
It's not a name call. It's you bum.
The basic lack of humanity and the growing concern that's always been there that this man is disconnected from reality.
Go tell Melania to put on her flood heels, get some bottled water, some food.
Absolutely. We see it every day. The president has a remarkable ability to communicate with people all across America, but especially those who feel like they have been forgotten for so many years. The reason why the big blue wall cracked was because many people in those states thought that they had been left behind by Democratic leadership, the Democratic Party.
Right.
They were more focused on saying, it's okay if your jobs get outsourced. It's okay if your paychecks aren't growing as much. And President Trump came along and said, no, it's not okay. We need to put American workers first, America first, bring our jobs back. And actually what they're seeing now is that a president who's actually backing that up and working with Congress and pushing Congress to do exactly what we were elected to do, which is create jobs, lower taxes, repeal and replace Obamacare, and restore America's place as a leader in the world.
How do you think he could lower the volume and intensity at all? For example, his tweets are direct. It's exactly what he thinks, and maybe it fuels the fire a little bit. Do you think he could, over the course of the next couple of years, 3 years, de-escalate in that way and cool the temperature?
Well, President Trump, he is his own man, and we've seen this throughout the course of history where presidents have used new technology, new ways to communicate to the American people, going back to FDR with his fireside chats, President Reagan using television and excuse me, the Oval Office address so brilliantly. The president has an ability to reach directly to the American people and tell them what's on his mind, and many people are really motivated, and they respond to him that way.
It's just so interesting because in the background, the stock market's up, the trade deficit's down, the manufacturing is up, the economic signs are strong, and a lot of people aren't paying attention to the soap opera that's going on and the war that exists between Washington, Hollywood, and the president. And that's bad news for the late-night host. The last thing, an anecdote with the president, what I knew, when he was hosting different shows and appearing at different events, he treated the floor managers and the makeup artists and the audio people with his company and with this company the same way he treated the hosts. He had an everyday quality to him, and people wanted to be around him. I don't think enough people see that side of him.
Too many children in this neighborhood do not graduate from high school. The kids after school, they're alone and they have nowhere to go. And we try to solve that problem by having this wonderful place where they can be children.
WTF is the Washington Tennis and Education Foundation. We help the kids with their academics and we teach them tennis.
We have retired teachers doing the tutoring, and they're here every day. WTF is the sole beneficiary of the City Open tournament. Since City has become the sponsor of this tournament, City has helped us raise more funds. That means we are able to serve more children.
I'm so proud of the fact that 100% of the students in WTF graduate from high school.
These kids are keeping the ball inside the lines. Inside the line.
Whether it's new business, new boss, or a new romance, these are the designer moments. Now at Men's Warehouse, designer brand suits and sport coats are 60% off, plus buy one, get one free on select items. You're gonna like the way you look in a designer suit.
When a fire is going on, you're not thinking clearly, so they called the fire department for us.
I could hear crackling in the walls. My mind went totally blank. All I remember saying was, my boyfriend's beating me, and you take it from there.
And all of this occurred in 4 minutes or less.
I am grateful we all made it out safely. People you don't know care about you. It's kind of one of those things.
Oh, please. Leave that car alone.
Call 1-800-82-10.
Hello.
Oh, shit, man.
QuickBooks introduces Rodney.
This is wasting